5-minute penalty to Chicago, a game misconduct, and then Manson having words with Steven. And now Butcher gets into it. We're going to have a brawl, folks. Stand by.
What's up, everybody? Tyler Cash here. It's an episode of Fourth Line Goon Hockey Podcast. About damn time I have my boy Alex to help me guest host this episode. Tommy couldn't make it tonight.
Is Tommy too busy watching the Blues get blown out by the Islanders?
More than likely, yes, to be honest with you. I'm sure he's taking a break from his work just enough time to watch, 4-1 right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 4-1, still in the third period. Brutal. But anyways, the Vegas Golden Knights just squeezed by a victory over the Ottawa Senators, a 5-4 win. It got kind of scary there towards the end, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, that was probably their sloppiest defensive game they've had all season, and compounded with Logan Thompson probably his toughest game of the year in terms of just like letting stuff in he shouldn't. But I mean, when you play not great and you get wins, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to pull it together at least enough to get those 2 points. But as you mentioned, sloppiest efforts defensively. There was the most shots that Logan Thompson has ever faced in his career. And it's not really an excuse because there were some softies in there for sure. That first goal from Giroux was just wild, though. And I think we got our first taste of what it would look like if Logan Thompson got rattled, because you could see he looked kind of off, and then like he saw that look in his eyes like, fuck, what was that? Like, holy shit, I should have had that.
Well, I mean, it's just like body positioning on that one. It took a weird bounce. He was off to the side a little bit, went right over his shoulder. So, I mean, nothing that can't be fixed. That probably won't happen again for the rest of the season. You rarely see stuff like that anyway. The more worrisome one was the trickler that got through him. I think Tkachuk ended up scoring that one. He either had the shot that got through or he ended up putting it in. But that's the one that worried me more than the first one.
Yeah, there was Stützle that was like, backdoor, but they were also like on a 2-on-1. So yeah, that he should have been able to clamp that down. But as we've seen, he's not really a flopping goalie. Like, he's not like the kind to fall back and do snow angels to make sure the puck stays out. That's not like so much his style as it is, Lehner's or Aiden Hill's. But not the best game, but it's a win. And
yeah, I mean, that's the best part. They didn't play good. They got a win. I'm happy. They'll look better next time.
And I got to be honest with you, this was one of the games that I didn't think they were going to win. So it's like the next up is Montreal, and then they're playing
Toronto.
The Leafs. And I thought that for sure they were going to lose tonight. They were going to win against Montreal, and they were going to lose against the Leafs. That was kind of my guess. What was your guess going into it?
I mean, they may never lose again. That's how I'm feeling. No, but I mean, you can't predict a perfect road trip. So I thought they were going to go probably like 3-1-1 on this road trip total. And they've already got 2 wins out of the way. And I don't think they're going to lose to Buffalo this time around with the way they're playing. I don't think Jack Eichel is going to allow that. So, I mean, we'll see if they can get past Montreal and then maybe catch Toronto on one of their bad nights, which they've been having a few times this season already. I mean, I could see them going 5-0 on this road trip. It'd be crazy because I think at that point they'd be on a 10-game win streak, but we'll see.
Yeah, tonight was game 6, and I saw somewhere that this is the second best start in franchise history. Obviously, it's got all the makeup to potentially be the best start to the season. I am afraid of Buffalo, if I had to be completely honest with you. I mean, they're second now in their division. Dahlin finally decided to start being like the offensive weapon that he was supposed to be. I don't know. They're scary.
Like, we hear that about Buffalo every single year at the beginning of the season. Every single year. They're good. Oh, they're going to make the playoffs finally. And then they don't because they're the Sabres.
Yeah, the goaltending is a huge issue. I think when we did our first episode for the season, we did the Western Conference predictions and I had them missing. But I mean, there's still a team that is a force to be reckoned with during the regular season. Tage Thompson is insane.
Oh, you mean Eastern Conference? Eastern Conference.
Yeah, sorry. So second episode during the Eastern Conference predictions. I mean, yeah, They're not a playoff team for sure, but they definitely know. Maybe it's just the last time they faced the Knights that's like in my memory, because wasn't it Peyton Krebs and Alex Tuck that scored like the game tying and the game winning?
I know Tuck. I think Tuck scored the empty netter, if I remember correctly. I don't think Krebs scored, but they lost. And I mean and then Jack gave that that answer about like, oh, it's the loudest they've ever been, and I've played here for so many years. Like, he gave that comment. So I mean, I'm sure they don't forget. They didn't forget about that, and obviously, I don't think he did either. So I think I think that's a game that he has circled on his calendar.
For sure. But damn it, the Bruins, they won. So neither team will lose, and so like essentially they're tied for first in the entire league right now. So it's
with a slight point percentage bump to Boston, because I think he played one less game.
Yeah, so the Bruins are 10-1-0. Knights tonight are
who played in net tonight for Boston?
For Boston? Good question. I feel like they've been heavily
Allmark's been playing
Allmark.
most of the games.
Yeah. So Allmark did play tonight. And
he's 8-0. He's 8-0.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's insane.
And we'll get to that. So like our main thing that we're going to be focusing on for this episode is just essentially the top team of every division. And we're gonna kind of dissect these teams and give our take as to whether or not we think that they're the real deal and they're gonna hold on to that top spot, or if they're gonna start to, slip as the season progresses. I know a lot of people have said that the Golden Knights have had an easy go here in the beginning with an easy schedule. They've been seeing a lot of these harder teams on back-to-backs. I think those are just excuses, to be honest with you. I think that they've been hard fought games. I think
you gotta play the team in front of you. Like, I don't understand. I get it. Like, some of these teams are not going to make the playoffs, but you still have to play and you still have to win.
It's excuses, honestly. And for every guy that's fatigued for playing a back-to-back, there's another guy that loves playing back-to-back, like that thrives off of just continuously keeping their body in motion. So let's dive into it. Let's step away a little bit from the Golden Knights. We'll get to them again because, of course, they are first in their division. Not a big deal. Tied in first for the league. But the next fun team, I think, and you might disagree with me, originally being an Islanders fan, but it's kind of hard to deny that the New Jersey Devils aren't kind of crazy right now. They're first place in the Metropolitan. So 7-3-0. I believe, unless I'm not up to date on that exact, but either way, they're first place.
They're currently playing right now. They're tied at the end of the first period against Edmonton right now. So I was looking over it, like, before we were recording this, just to like be prepared. I was looking over some of the stats for all of the teams in their division leads, and their goalie play has not been that crazy, but they're scoring at a really high clip. So if it's the other way around, I think it's more likely that they're going to continue to do well. But once the points don't, like, every team goes through a stretch where their points aren't coming and their goalies need to step up. Goalies have not been good for New Jersey so far this season, but they're scoring a lot. So if they cool down a little bit and the goalies don't pick up the slack, I don't see how they can keep going.
Yeah, so it's interesting you bring that up. I have a note here. Vita Vanecek, he's proving he's capable tandem, and they've pretty much been a tandem. It's not really a backup scenario. He's 3-1 with a 2.08 goals against average. I didn't even put down the save percentage because I think it wasn't even in the 900s. It was like really, really low. And Mackenzie Blackwood is slightly worse. He's 4-2 with a 2.67 goals against average.
But his save percentage is low too.
Yeah, they're both dog shit when it comes to that, to be honest with you. But it is better goaltending than this team has seen in a very, very long time. And as you mentioned, their offense is just fun. Jesper Bratt, arguably the funniest story of them all, right? Because I didn't even know this dude's name until last season, and now it's all over the internet. You got the Brat Pack shout out to
that
my boy.
counts really funny. Yeah, that counts good.
But Jesper Bratt, he's now on pace for 130 points. He's got 4 goals, 12 assists, and 16 points in 10 games. Word on the street
so
is
you taking the over or under on that? You taking the over or the under on that total?
he's gonna slow down eventually, right? But here's the wild thing about him is word on the street is the New Jersey Devils came to him with 2 different offers at full term.
And he said no.
And he said nah. And I love it. He bet on himself and he knows that cap is going up next season, and he's just not going to lock himself into a team that he may not see a promising future with, at least without getting paid. I did see some people who are like, oh, he's an 8x8. No, dude. Cap goes up $4 million and he continues on at least with like an 80 points season. Dude, he's upwards of 9, 10. Like, I mean, that
would be, I think that would be a massive mistake. He won't take less than that probably.
Yeah, somebody will pay him.
I mean, only off of 2 seasons. What if he turns into a pumpkin?
Yeah, but we've seen that. We've seen it though. Like they gave Tage Thompson that massive deal off of 1 season.
Yeah.
Joshua Anderson with the Ottawa Senators, he was another scenario. I didn't even know that dude's name. Like, well, I knew Josh Anderson, but it was a completely different Josh Anderson that plays in the league. And
are we talking about Josh Norris?
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, Norris. Right. Yeah. Look at that. I'm butchering his name. Josh.
And he's out. He's out for the year too.
Is he out for the year?
That's what I saw. I think he's out. I think he had surgery that takes him out for the season for like last week maybe.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, well, he got his payday, so he's going to be sitting in a hospital chair somewhere, stoked.
that could be wrong, but I think he's out for the season.
All right, so but I did cherry pick some stats though for the New Jersey Devils. Nico Hischier, 5 goals and 5 assists. He's a point per game player. Jack Hughes, another point per game player, 4 goals, 6 assists. I said this before the season started that they were making playoffs. I'm doubling down. I say they make playoffs, but I mean, they're going to cool off. And as you said, the goaltending's not enough to really save them in these questionable games, nor is it good enough to carry them far. I think I also had a problem with their size. Like their 3 highest goal scorers on the team are all like under 6 foot, 180, 190 pounds. So like,
yeah, I mean, I don't subscribe to the fact like everyone needs to be big on your team or like your tops. Like you need to have at least one big power forward. But I understand that like the notion that it takes like one bad hit for a guy that size to like hurt himself.
Right.
So I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like whether or not you can stay healthy. You know, because I know Jack Hughes was off to a rocky start because he got hurt, and you know he was a smaller guy, and you know to relate it to Vegas Golden Knights, Cody Glass could never quite bulk up, right, and he could never really stay healthy.
Yeah.
So, but what do you think though?
Yeah. Well, I mean, on New Jersey,
yeah, are they the real deal? Do you think that they hold on? Do you think they're at least? Do you think they hold on enough to make playoffs?
I will say they will make the playoffs, but they'll be the second wild card team because I don't think their goaltending is good enough.
Fair enough. Okay, the Boston Bruins, first in the Atlantic Division.
Yeah, they're another team that like is weird to me because like they won again today, and they're scoring a lot, but also like let me double check on this, but their goaltending's not like insane either. They're just scoring a bunch of points.
I mean, so DeBrusk is finally seeing the time on ice he's needed to grow his game. He's got 8 points in 9 games. I didn't watch tonight, so that number could have already been up. So they're 10-1-0. Marchand misses the beginning of the season, and then in his very first game back, nets 2 goals and an assist for 3 points.
Well, he wasn't even supposed to be playing until like December.
Right. Yeah. He got
crazy
double hip replacement. And he comes back.
Yeah.
Acts like he hasn't missed a day.
I guess this last game like helps Ullmark's stats. But I mean, if he like happens to go down at any point during the season, Swayman's only played 3 games, but his stats are garbage. So I mean it's really dependent on. They're good. I mean, obviously they're good, but I mean, I need to see more. I need to see more out of Swayman to like be more confident in depth.
Well, I mean, at one point, Swayman was the man for them. That was like their future. It was essentially Logan Thompson or Jordan Binnington. Like, it was like, we don't know much about this guy, but we don't, Tuukka's getting older.
Yeah.
Well,
brought in Allmark from Buffalo.
Right. And he was kind of more of an insurance piece than anything. And then he wound up taking that first overall because they didn't feel like Swayman was right there. I think he even might have spent some time in the AHL last year because he was off to like a rough start, but he eventually came around and was their guy. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. With Marchand firing off because he never really seems to slow down. Taylor Hall, he finally found his team because I always thought he was overrated for many years.
Well,
and
he won an MVP with New Jersey.
Yeah, but then after that, he just seemed like he phoned it in. Like, he never seemed like he cared. He never played with heart. Like, yeah, he was an MVP on a shit team, right? Like, and he was able to score goals, but that's just him being a good hockey player. I mean, he finally seems to have found his fit in Boston, and he's got 7 points in 10 games. I mean, 5 of those are goals, and he's by definition a pure goal scorer, like a showman, if you will. And yeah, I think they're the real deal. I really do. I think it might have been Jack Manning tweeted on Twitter. He said something along the lines of, well, clearly it's going to be Boston and Vegas in the finals.
Yeah.
And I mean, while I don't see that necessarily being what unfolds, I wouldn't be surprised either. I mean, I picked Boston to make the playoffs as it is, but I wouldn't doubt if they hold on. Out of all these teams, even Vegas, I really think Boston has a really good opportunity to hold on to their division. What do you think?
Yeah, that division is, I mean, Buffalo's in second place, and I do not believe in them at all. Tampa looks like they're figuring it out, and then they got off to a slow start. Toronto, I don't know what to think about them.
Goaltending. You need to think that they don't have goaltending.
Yeah, Florida looks not great. Their decor is terrible. Detroit's not ready. Montreal, garbage.
Yeah.
And Ottawa, I need to see a little more from them until I make a determination.
Yeah,
but
they're building in the right direction, but they're probably not there, and they're not going to challenge for the top of their division. That's not happening.
Boston and Tampa are like the two teams that I'm like, those are the good teams in that division. And then I can't really give you a for sure answer on anybody else.
Fair. But so, I mean, are you with me? You think they're the real deal?
Yeah, they look pretty legit. Pasternak, as long as he keeps doing this and Marchand does his thing. I mean, Krejci has surprisingly been pretty good. I thought he was going to be pretty bad coming back. He's been better.
No, it's like he never missed a beat. Like, honestly,
he was under a point per game was he playing in Sweden?
KHL.
Was he in the KHL or was he in the SHL?
I think he was in the KHL.
Whichever league he was in, he was not a point per game player, and I thought that meant like it was close to the end of his career. But he's been good. He's been pretty good.
Yeah, so I think that he was in the KHL. Oh no, the Czech league.
Oh, the Czech league.
Yeah. And I mean, he had himself a season, dude. He had 46 points in 51 games over there.
Not even a point per game, like I said.
Okay. 20 goals, 26 assists. That's nothing to scoff at.
That's pretty good.
And I mean, he's always been a good to great player. And he's not even like their bread and butter, right?
No,
36 years old. He's older. This was kind of a last hurrah for this team, kind of like the Pittsburgh Penguins, like getting the boys back together for like 1 or 2 more seasons. Hopefully we can figure it out.
Yeah, but the Penguins have their guys together for like 5.
Well, didn't their defenseman, whose name is escaping me right now, didn't he just sign like another? Yeah, like you said, like another 5-6 years, and he's like 32 years old.
Yeah, it was. Geez,
I feel like such a poser.
His name too.
Right.
What the heck?
I'm gonna.
Oh no!
I'm googling Penguins defenseman. Everyone's yelling at this podcast right now. Letang.
Oh, Letang.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Jesus, and I'm not even drunk. I'm drinking.
I'm
drinking water tonight. So.
He just signed a new deal. But speaking of the Penguins, I think they suck. They might be pretty bad.
What leads you to think that?
They've lost 6 in a row.
Oh shit. Is it okay? So I'm just flipping through. Let's see. So they lost to the Sabres. Bruins. That was a high scoring game. It was in overtime. So technically they got a point out of that, right? Oh,
That's
shit.
a loss. Yeah.
They lost to the Kraken, the
Well,
Canucks.
yeah,
Wow.
the Canuck one's bad. The Kraken one, they look decent, so it's not too bad, but
What's up, Goons? Tyler Cash here from the Fourth Line Goon Hockey Podcast, interrupting today's episode to talk about our newest sponsor, Jesse Ray's Barbecue. Las Vegas barbecue has become a style of its own over the years. To sum it up with one word, it's perfection. Come try their award-winning slow-smoked ribs, chicken, pulled pork, hot links, and brisket. When I stopped in, I made sure I ordered the Fortress, and it was delicious. Let me tell you what, come in hungry or come with a bunch of friends because there's a lot of delicious food on that plate. They offer barbecue catering, dining in, takeout, delivery, and they also sell their award-winning barbecue sauce by the bottle. They just opened a location in Henderson at 308 North Boulder Highway. And of course, they have their original location located right behind Mandalay Bay at 5611 South Valley View Boulevard. They're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. They're open Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. For delivery, call 702-541-5546. Once again, that number is 702-541-5546. You can find them on Instagram and Twitter at Jesse Ray's Barbecue. And let me tell you what, ever since I moved out here to the desert 2 years ago, no other barbecue compares. Jesse Ray's is the real deal. Check it out. You will not be disappointed. We already know Schlafly Brewing Company is back to sponsor another season of Fourth Line Goon Hockey Podcast. But did you know that Schlafly is responsible for some of the best tasting craft beer I've ever had? No joke. One of my favorites they offer is the White Lager. Lagers are usually bright and clear. Theirs takes the focus away from those qualities by emphasizing an orange zest and silky finish. Their rare style dates back to the Middle Ages, where beer was matured in deep vaults for months before emerging smooth and rich in vitamins. It remains unfiltered from keg to cup, bringing to life a German tradition with a twist. My family is German, and we love this beer. They also have the Just a Bit Hazy IPA. Their coffee stout dropped on Halloween weekend. Make sure you check them out on www.schlafly.com. That's SCHLAFLY.com. You can find them at Schlafly on Twitter or Schlafly Beer on Instagram. Schlafly Beer. Drink Mo Beer. Are you looking to sell your home? How about finally buying your dream home? Well, then look no further than Sin City Properties and my boy Adam Neglick, the smooth skating agent from Realty One Group. This is a true story, not just an ad read. My mom recently moved halfway across country from St. Louis, Missouri to fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, and Adam was the man. Not only did he help her find her dream home, he made sure it was a smooth transition financially. He even helped us move. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about dealing with realtors, but a lot of times they're uppity, they're hard to talk to. That's not my boy Adam. He's a beauty to talk to. He's a hockey fan. He's a great guy. So let me put you in touch with him. Go to sincityproperties.com or you can call him at 702-335-2156. Once again, that's Adam Neglick, the smooth skating agent from Realty One Group. You can go to sincityproperties.com. You can get a free market analysis and he'll help you find your dream home today.
the Central.
Yeah, the Dallas Stars. They're first in the Central. Tyler Seguin has seemed to find his game. 8 points in 10 games. But Ben, he hasn't even scored. Jamie Benn is just
He's
more like
toast.
Jamie Bum.
He's I mean, that's been that way for the last couple of years.
Has it been the way?
It's been that way. I mean, I don't know. This is probably recency bias, but it's a Pete DeBoer-led team, so I think they're going to end up falling off a little bit.
Yeah.
And Ottinger's hurt, so.
But, I mean, Jake Ottinger is statistically the second best goalie in the league with goals against and save percentage.
But he's not playing right now.
Well, when he was, it was a 5-1.
No,
with
he was great. Yeah.
1.40 goals against average and 0.952 save percentage. Locking him down for $5 million a year was an insane deal for that team.
He should fire his agent.
Absolutely. Unless he wanted to just stay put. I mean, I don't know. Some of these guys want like confidence that they're going to get the net, and that's more important to them.
Dallas would have caved because they caved on Jason Robertson.
Right. Well, they fucking should have, because 5 goals, 8 assists for 13 points in 10 games. I mean, he's keeping the team afloat for sure. And then you got Joe Pavelski, 38 years old, and he's got 9 points in 10 games. Like, crazy. I don't hate the Dallas Stars. I don't hate Pete DeBoer, but they're just always been, both of them.
They're very
average, and middle of the pack, like boring hockey. Like, it's
mid.
Just,
you use the cool lingo, Tyler. They're mid.
They're mid. And with that being said, I don't see them holding on to that top spot. I do see them making playoffs. I did pick them to make playoffs. Yeah. I don't see them ending in the Central, though, for sure.
I think Colorado will probably end up winning that division again.
I mean, yeah, they're off to a slow start, but I mean, they're also the defending champs. I don't know, man. Like, I never believed in the Colorado Avalanche. I know that makes me sound like a clown, and maybe a little bit of my bias like slips out. I just think that they kept grinding away, and they finally got a hungry enough group of dudes. And it's like, is that going to be enough? Is that going to carry over? Like, they just remind me so much of the Washington Capitals. They just kept grinding away with the right group of dudes.
A little different, though. I mean, this team got it way faster than Washington.
Yeah, but like, my point though is Washington fell off, and it doesn't seem like they're ever coming back again. So
they're done. But all their guys are old. That's the thing.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, as long as Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon are on that team, I will never count them out.
You know, yeah, that's fair. But I'm looking at the standings right now, and I'm actually kind of taken back. The Jets are in second place in the Central, along with the Wild, and both of those teams have just been horrible this year. Like, there was that patch where the Wild didn't even win a game. It was until Vancouver in overtime that they even got a point.
The Jets' leading scorer is Josh Morrissey, and he has not recorded a goal yet. He has 8 assists to lead the team.
Wow.
Connor Hellebuck has been pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, he's always good, but he's wasting away, right? We see that in so many goaltenders. We see it in John Gibson.
John Gibson's just not good. Like, that's my consensus. He's just not good.
Okay, I don't know that I agree with you on that, but I understand how easy it is to kind of shit on goaltending. Like, you're gonna, like, honestly, I don't think Carey Price is what all that great, but he's not. I'm not gonna say he's shit, but like, it's hard to tell because these guys don't ever do anything. Like, they haven't achieved anything on the NHL level.
Ready for this take?
Yes.
I think John Gibson, in terms of all starters in the NHL and like half of the backups, may be like in the bottom 4th in the league in like goalies against odd man rushes in just ability. I think he's bad at odd man rush chance against.
Okay, but what if he just doesn't care? What if by the point of the odd man rush, they're already losing fucking, 5-2, and he's just
what is he doing? Request for a trade to a team.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they haven't traded him. I've brought that up for so long. Like, why not get some dumb team to give you 2 first-round picks for John Gibson? Like, he's pissing away his prime, like his main years on in a market and a team that is building, like, and then not even building very fast. There's teams all around them that are building
backwards.
Yeah, they, like, you're watching your rivals in the Kings do it the right way. I wouldn't even doubt if we see the Sharks pass them eventually with like just having their
let's not
shit
get
together.
crazy. Let's not get crazy over here.
I just don't. It's unfortunate to see these great goaltenders, in my opinion, piss away their prime. But all right, so Dallas Stars though, like I said, I don't see them holding on to that spot. I see them making playoffs. What about you?
Yeah, I think their ceiling is like second. Their floor is like first wild card spot.
All right,
Just because
cool.
I think the West is not like as strong as the East as usual. But well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I can be swayed on that if we're like in the next 10 games. If Seattle's still in third place in the Pacific, I might change my mind on that. But
I mean, the East is definitely a better conference for sure in hockey. Like that's just like statistically proven. I mean, anyone that follows the sport knows that. But I am getting tired of people shitting on the Pacific all the time. They're like, oh, it's a horrible division. We play in the easiest division. It's like not really. I mean,
no.
You got Edmonton, you got Calgary, you got
Boston might be in the easiest division right now. Might be the Atlantic.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that argument. You got the Sabres, the Red Wings, the Leafs are shitting the bed. Florida not doing great either. And I have a little bet going with Tommy that either Florida or Calgary don't make playoffs, it just has to be one team. So both teams have to make playoffs for Tommy to win, and we have a Korean barbecue on the on the line.
So even like no matter like who loses that one, can I join you guys for that? I
yes,
Korean barbecue.
absolutely. And I think it could be Florida. I really do. I don't think that they're all that with Bobrovsky. I think anytime you're going to spend 10.5 on a goalie, you're taking a risk as it is, let alone him.
But I mean, Calgary has not been that impressive this year either. I mean, they were at the beginning, and now they're like they've fallen off a little bit.
They had their moment, and yeah, you could argue that they got better, but like just adding better pieces, quote unquote, doesn't make you a better team. As you know, as people have argued all the time, like
it's not even better pieces. Like I can't even make the full argument that they're better. Like at best, they're the same.
Yeah,
they just swapped out guys, and I also think Markstrom had like a season he won't replicate. So
yeah, and you swap out guys that are good, and it's like even, but like then you're at the sacrifice of chemistry. So
right.
All right, so let's get to the Vegas Golden Knights, the ones that we really wanted to talk about.
The best team in the NHL.
Correct. 10-2-0. Jack Eichel, 13 points in 12 games, unless he put up another point. I counted one tonight.
Yeah, it's just the one. He probably would have had another one if
No, he had a goal taken away, and it was him.
Oh, yeah.
The offsides call.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's sitting at a point per game, over a point per game. My personal favorite story, William Karlsson, 9 points in 12 games.
I mean,
started out.
That guy's got in a time machine and like went back to 2017 to talk to himself or something because he's been great.
Well, it's crazy what a new coach will do.
Well, it's the system. Like he thrives in a system like this.
Okay, but like he genuinely looked like he was having zero fun, like under DeBoer.
I think that was a lot of guys on the team.
I think that they needed a fresh new voice in the locker room. And yeah, Cassidy has known to piss off players, more particularly the younger ones. So maybe him coming here to a team full of veterans was good for both of them. It was like it was the right move. Honestly, I know some people questioned it. They're like, okay, well, why would we make this call now? But it's obvious Cassidy was the right move. Like, and I would argue the front runner for the Jack Adams Award now at this point.
I agree with you, and just keeping like talking about awards, I don't know how you can't possibly think about McCrimmon as not being GM of the year at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you traded out guys that everyone was giving you shit for, right? They're like, oh, future considerations. It's like, okay,
both of those trades have given those other teams legitimately 0 points 10 games into the season. One being Pacioretty being injured, the other one Dodon being bad and then healthy scratched, and now he's injured too. But
right,
I mean, Thompson's rock solid. Adin Hill's been rock solid. Eichel looks like Jack Eichel. It's great.
Right. I mean, it's all for the better of the team, and you have to like step back, give it some time to brew, if you will, and see the whole picture, and to judge immediately, like, oh, ha ha ha. And then everyone was saying, oh, well, you gave the future captain for the Buffalo Sabres away. It's like, well, he didn't even get an A. He's not even an alternate.
Which
so,
I was surprised about that. I thought he was going to be the captain this year. I'm surprised they gave it to Okposo, who's going to be a free agent in the summer.
I was definitely surprised as well. Apparently, if you're a Buffalo Sabres fan, like you weren't, like Okposo was like the obvious choice, I guess. I mean, I think it's weird.
like he's that veteran guy, but I thought it would have been the right time to like hand the seat over to someone else to be the new leader. Not necessarily that Okposo couldn't be like a leader in the locker room. He would have had an A if he didn't have a C, but him possibly not being there next year, it's a weird time to announce him as the captain.
Yeah. So I wanted to point out though, before we're going to get to some questions and then we're going to wrap this up. This is our 4-minute window of
4-minute warning. 4-minute offense. Let's go.
But I just want to point out Peyton Krebs doesn't have a single goal. He has 2 points in 8 games so far. So he's not there yet. I mean, who knows if he's going to eventually become there, but like no reason to immediately point like, that trade was horrible. Like everybody was. The misfit line collectively responsible for 12 goals in 12 games. I mean, that's gone up from tonight. And I think that's the best goalie tandem in the league. I think it actually might not just be my opinion. I think it's statistically
might be legit.
Statistically proven. I mean, Aiden Hill 4-0-0, 1.72 goals against average and a .940 save percent average. I don't have the updated ones for Logan Thompson, but I do know he's 6-2-0. I mean, his stats got rattled a little bit with the scores tonight, but yeah, you know how I feel. I think I know how you feel. I was on
the Logan Thompson train last year. So
yes, we both were. We both were 100%. We were overly optimistic fanboys, with this. But you know what? Guess what? We're right. So at least so far.
Yeah.
I'd say 30 NHL games is a good sample size too. Like he's approaching 30 games. He's got an awesome save percentage and goals against average. His record is great. His record was great with a shitty team last year that was like not shitty, but just broken down.
It was half a team. It was like half an AHL team. Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are going to answer a few questions. Make sure you go to fourthlinegoon.com and check us out on YouTube, Facebook, all that great stuff. Go back and watch the other episodes. I'll be sure to drop Alex's Twitter and information down here as well. We do have just a few minutes, so let's see what questions we have here. What would be a good one? There's so many people that are like chiming in. It's crazy now. Wow, this is crazy. Okay, what changes to the third line do we see incoming? I don't see any changes.
They're gonna make a trade at the deadline.
Right.
Like at the beginning of the year, I was like, please don't trade any more first round picks. But I mean, if they win this, like if they keep on this trajectory, trade whatever you want to get somebody.
Well, okay, you know what? Then because we're running out of time, we'll end this podcast. I'm gonna have you back, dude. We need to chat more. Maybe we'll do like a weekly VGK side episode because I love talking about Golden Knights hockey and I love finding the optimism in it. So let's end this episode with a playoff of that question.
Okay,
Patrick Kane. Do you think that's what they go for?
If they are the best team in the league at the deadline, yes, but they're gonna have to send him through another team. So I don't know how much they're gonna have to give up.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're looking at least 2 prospects, a first round pick, at least 1 first round pick, if not 2.
I think it's either him or Tarasenko. Those 2 guys.
Dude, Tarasenko is on a tear, and my personal take is I'd rather have Tarasenko, and I'd rather just give 1 distant prospect and 1 pick. I think that would get the job done.
Yeah, I'm in for that.
And if the Blues continue to suck, they're going to be in that same position. So, well, Alex, dude, thank you so much, bud. I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Yeah,
let's do it again real soon. I appreciate the chatting. And go Knights, go.
Go Knights. Let's go.